Hello, and welcome to Soul Aligned CEO Podcast, the show that shares the journeys of entrepreneurs from all around the world who have started businesses and they're doing it soul aligned. I'm your host, Jenny Mori, and I'm so excited that you're here. Today is episode 1, the origin story. I want to share with you what this podcast is all about, who the podcast is for, what you can expect each week, and then a little bit about me. So, welcome. So, the Soul Aligned CEO podcast, at its heart, it's a show that's following the journeys of entrepreneurs that have stepped out of their comfort zone, that faced their fears and decided to jump all in and start a business. Now, through that process, we're going to learn about their stories, how they decided to start their business, what they were doing before, what was maybe scary or fearful for them, what they were excited about, and what really is the drive behind their motivation to start this business. We're also going to learn practical steps and tips as we walk through these stories and journeys. I'm going to ask the questions, how did they face certain common issues with starting up a new business? And so this is going to be a very educational and also informative podcast too. And we're also going to have some fun aspects. It's really important to me to include astrology. Astrological influences can really point to a lot. And so we are going to bring on different experts that can guide us to learn more about certain placements on our chart, such as where is your MC or where is your north and south node? And how can understanding those things really give you some insight into your professional and career purpose? And finally, I really want to have some fun. And so we're going to explore different ways that we can have fun with the podcast because I want to highlight that owning a business and doing something that is so fulfilling and in your passion, not only can it pay the bills and be successful, but it should be enjoyable and fun too. So now that you know a little bit more about what this podcast is all about, now, who is the podcast for? That's a great question. When I think about it, it's really for 3 different buckets of people. The first being if you are an entrepreneur already, this is perfect for you. You can listen along to fellow entrepreneurs and gain insights and tips to common things that entrepreneurs are facing. You can get inspiration and also encouragement. Next, if you are an aspiring entrepreneur, if you are someone that has always dreamed about owning their own business, but maybe you don't quite know where to start or it doesn't seem realistic to you, this is the perfect show because you're going to see real life examples of people just like you who really stepped out of their comfort zone and started these businesses. So I'm really excited about that aspect because inspiring others is the core value of this podcast. And finally, maybe you're someone that enjoys supporting small businesses. This is going to be a great podcast to learn about a variety of unique and maybe less common small businesses and services that you might be interested in. So far on my guest list, I have people that have started businesses in different spiritual businesses, life coaching, healing modalities like Reiki, astrology, nutrition, wellness, also goods and artisans. And so there's going to be a wide variety of businesses, and I'm excited for you guys to learn about all of them. What can you expect each week with the podcast? So each week I'll be publishing episodes that are either an interview format, So I'll bring on an entrepreneur and ask them questions about their journey and their story of how they started their business. Or I'll record episodes with just myself, focusing on certain topics that are common when a person is thinking about starting a business, or different steps and tips for when you are in the process of starting business. I'm also going to share this entire journey of creating this podcast because I've done this in less than 30 days. So I'm excited to share all of that with you also. So now that you know what the Soul Aligned CEO podcast is all about, who it's for, and what you can expect each week, I do want to share a little bit about me. So, as I mentioned, my name is Jenny Mori, and most of you probably don't know who I am. I've kept a pretty low profile the majority of my adult life. While I've been an entrepreneur for almost 20 years, I've owned and run businesses in several different industries. Being an entrepreneur is something that I've always been passionate about. And really, the idea of this podcast came to me really naturally. I had the opportunity to be a part of a course this summer led by Danielle Page. It was a group of entrepreneurs from actually all over the world, and they were either starting their businesses, had been in business for a little while, and were sharing and learning different strategies and tips. It was almost like a mastermind. And during that course, it occurred to me, wow, each of these individuals have such a unique story, but in some ways, there's so much in common because these entrepreneurs were not just doing a business because they had to. They were doing a business because they wanted to. And it was so inspiring to see that. And so I realized I can really shed a light on all of these stories and bring an awareness to everybody that you can see what's possible. So that's really what I hope from this podcast. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to learn some great tips and steps if you are an entrepreneur or if you're just starting your business. And I hope more than anything, you'll be inspired to follow your passions, your dreams, and to pursue things in life that are fearlessly soul aligned. Thank you so much for listening. I look forward to interacting with you soon. Thank you.